Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the UFC 318 card and essentially giving my opinion on whether this pay-per-view is worth $80. But before I go more into it, if you guys can, please hit the subscribe button and let's shoot for 10 likes on this video. Anyways, let's get into it. Talk about the UFC 318 card. Opening it up is Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. I can't pronounce his last name. If I mispronounce your last name, I apologize. Dan Ige is going against Patricio Pitbull. Kevin Holland is going against Daniel Rodriguez. Paulo Costa is going against Roman Kopylov. And then the main event is Max Holloway Poirier trilogy, right? Overall, though, the main event is great. I no complaints on the main event. But the rest of the fights of where it's at, Costa co-main event, Holland, Ige, and Johnson, right? All those fights, with all those accumulated together, the big question is if it's worth $80. Me personally, I don't think it is worth $80. Paul Costa is not what he used to be. He's lost some fights, especially his recent ones with Robert Whittaker and Sean Strickland. Kevin Holland is kind of a 50-50 fighter, if I'll be quite honest with you. He could either perform really well or he could try and just shit the pants, honestly, especially if it's against a grappler. But in this one, I think it's a little bit more exciting. Dan Ige and Patricia Pitbull, it's not a bad fight. I think Pitbull, with his last fight, I believe, was against Yair, and wasn't the fight that he wanted, or the result that he wanted, I should say. Michael Johnson opening up the card. I thought this is not 2018. We're in 2025. I don't know why he is opening the card personally. He's 24-19 as well. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like how he's opening up this card, especially if this is worth $80. So yeah, I think kind of just going over it. If I were to rate this card out of 10, it's kind of like a 5 or 6 overall. And then if I were to give a price point with it, instead of $80, they should kind of shorten it to like 40 max. I'm going to be honest, $40 at max. Just because, you have one really great fight, and the rest of the fights are just really it. You know what I mean? It's just mid. It's not necessarily fights that I'm like really excited for. Maybe the Ige and Pitbull fight, I would say, is the most exciting for me. Other than that, it's just, oh, this guy has a big name. Let's just throw him in there. And I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. I think, like next week's card, right, which I could kind of talk about just a little bit. Robert Whittaker and DeRitter is the headliner, right? And they have fights like Masvidal versus Aaron Pico and Peter Yan going against Marcus McPhee, Bryce Mitchell's fight going against Said Nurmagomedov, and Bullet, right? Bullet will be going against I can't pronounce the guy's name, but Bullet's a fun fighter, right? He's a fun fighter. Kirilov will be going against Gusko. Both have really high KO rates, if I'm not mistaken. The point I'm trying to say with this compared to that is that this is a free card, and somehow a free card has better quality fights than a pay-per-view card that's worth $80. So I'm not the biggest fan of how 318 is pretty expensive. And yeah, my overall answer is a no. It is at max $40. Just because Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier are both exciting fighters, and it's Poirier's retirement fight, that would be the main reason why the value is at $40 instead of an $80 card. But if you guys agree or disagree with my video on this, would love to hear in the comments. Also, hit the like button and subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.